Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Chatting with Chops. My name is Karen and I try to make fun and entertaining videos that might teach you something. Today we're going to make bread pudding. I know that sounds really hard, but I think I have found a recipe that is relatively easy to do and just kind of putting a couple of ingredients together. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. So let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do to start out with your bread pudding is the recipe calls for 6 slices of day-old bread. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't usually keep day-old bread just laying around. So I Googled it and found out that you can just take regular bread and put it in the toaster oven or put it in the regular baking oven for a few minutes and it'll just get a little bit crispy, and that's pretty much day-old bread. So once you've got it a little bit dried out, you just break it up into small pieces, all 6 slices of them, and lay it down in just a regular 8-inch baking pan. I sprayed the bottom a little bit with cooking oil just because I'm trying to make sure that nothing sticks real bad. So the first thing that you're doing is you've done your bread and you have your oven preheating to 350 degrees, and then you want to take 2 tablespoons of butter, melted butter as you can see, and drizzle it over the top of your bread. So I'm just going to slowly kind of drizzle that over all the pieces of bread. Okay. And the recipe also says that you can add raisins to it. You can add about a half a cup of raisins. We're not a huge fan of raisins, so I'm just going to put probably maybe about 1/4 of a cup through here. And that way, you know, if you don't like them, you can pick them out. If you really like raisins, I would suggest adding even more than a half a cup. But so I'm just going to add a few. Okay. All right, so you've done that step. The recipe calls for 4 eggs, and I will say that most of my recipes are vegan. However, I will say that most of the time when you read about making a regular recipe vegan, if you go past 2 eggs, it usually makes it a little bit harder to make them. I'm not saying it's impossible, but past 2 eggs, it's a little bit harder to make that recipe vegan. And I am not baking this for my vegan this time around, so I'm going to go ahead and use eggs this time. So we have our 4 eggs. And then we're going to put our 2 cups of milk that our recipe calls for. And I'm using almond milk just because we like almond milk better than whole milk. So I'm pouring that in there. And then we need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So let me get my sugar ready. 3/4 of a cup. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next thing that we want to put in our recipe is cinnamon, and it's asking for 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that this family really likes cinnamon, so I'm usually a little heavy-handed with my cinnamon. The recipe calls for 1 teaspoon, so you can leave it at 1 teaspoon if you'd like to. And then we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I've also talked to many other bakers that said they will normally add a little bit of extra vanilla because it just enhances the flavor of whatever you're baking. So we've put all that in, and we're going to beat that until it is well combined. So the next step in the recipe, once you've mixed all of your wet ingredients together, so you're just going to pour it over your bread. And as you're pouring it, try to see if you can get everything wet. But then we're actually going to take a fork and press everything down real good so we can make sure all of our bread is good and saturated with our egg and sugar, cinnamon, vanilla extract measure. Okay. You might have to sprinkle your raisins around a little bit. They might be kind of floaty. All right, now we're going to take this and put it in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. And you really want to look and see if this top springs back up when you touch it. Well, here you go. This is the finished product of the bread pudding. And I have cooked it I ended up cooking it for about 50 minutes. The recipe says 45. But when I pulled it out the first time, it was really springy and I didn't feel like it was done. So I was trying to show you guys what it looks like. Nice and thick. We're going to try and see if we can get a piece of it out so y'all can see what it looks like. Oh, it is very spongy. Well, the first piece is always the hardest to get out. And there you go. There's my bread pudding. Hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe and help me grow my channel, and I will make more bakes for you. Have a great day.